What does uranium, a whale, and a hot air balloon have in common? They're all regulated by some of New Zealand's most unusual laws that are still active today. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most unusual laws in New Zealand that remain enforceable in 2025. These aren't historical curiosities, they're current legislation. Number 1 is the most significant of them all, so make sure you watch to the end, as this recent legislation might surprise you. Let's start with number 10. You must wear a helmet on a bicycle, but not on an e-scooter. Under the Land Transport Rule 2004, every cyclist in New Zealand must wear a helmet or face a $55 fine. This law has been enforced since 1994 with no exceptions. But hop onto an e-scooter traveling the same speed on the same road, and helmets are just strongly recommended. The government will fine you for riding a bike without a helmet while completely ignoring e-scooter safety. I guess your choice of wheels determines whether your brain deserves legal protection. And if you think helmet laws are confusing, wait until you see how New Zealand regulates people just trying to get their stolen property back. Number 9. You cannot say "no questions asked" in reward advertisements. But wait, everyone does this. How is it against the law? Section 25 of the Summary Offences Act 1981 makes it an offence, punishable by a $200 fine, to publicly advertise a reward for lost or stolen property using phrases like "no questions asked" or offering to repay money spent to recover it. While rarely enforced, the law technically still applies to posts or ads containing such wording. Many people offer rewards daily without realizing this legal restriction exists. And speaking of things that we never knew existed. Number 8. You cannot pretend to be psychic for money. This made the list because it may seem unusual, but it's a fully enforceable legislation. Section 16 of the Summary Offences Act 1981 makes it illegal to claim psychic powers for money with intent to deceive, targeting those who knowingly pretend to be spiritual mediums, clairvoyants, or telepaths for financial gain. The law distinguishes fraud from entertainment. Stage performers are exempt as long as it's clear they're not claiming genuine powers. It also bans using any fraudulent device while pretending to be psychic, with offenders facing fines of up to $1,000. Enacted in 1982, the law is still fully enforceable today. While this law would not rank high on any enforcement priority list, it leads us to the next unusual regulation. Number 7. You cannot fly kites if you're being disruptive. This may seem unusual, but there are multiple laws involved. Under civil aviation rules and the Summary Offences Act, flying kites can be illegal in several ways. First, civil aviation rules ban flying kites within 4 kilometers of an aerodrome boundary, with fines up to $2,500. Under these rules, it also prohibits kite flying at night completely. But there's also the disorderly behavior angle. Under Section 3 of the Summary Offences Act 1981, behavior that's likely to cause public disorder is illegal. So technically, if your kite flying genuinely causes public disorder, you could face additional charges beyond aviation violations. Aviation authorities take airspace violations seriously, whether it's a child's kite or something much, much larger. Number 6. You cannot fly hot air balloons at night. The Civil Aviation Rule prohibits night balloon operations below 60,000 feet, unless equipped with special lighting. These lights must be visible at a distance of at least 5 nautical miles, have a flash frequency of 40 to 100 cycles per minute, and each light must have its own independent power supply. Without this expensive lighting setup, night flights are completely banned. Violations carry penalties up to $5,000 for individuals and $30,000 for companies, under the Civil Aviation Regulations 2025, and requirements are so complex and expensive that most balloon operators simply avoid night flights entirely. While aviation authorities have detailed requirements for balloon lighting to protect aircraft, marine protection laws take an even stricter approach. Number 5. You cannot make loud noises near whales. Marine Mammals Protection Regulations 1992, specifically Regulation 18H, states that no person shall make any loud or disturbing noise near whales. This is part of comprehensive marine mammal protection under the Marine Mammals Protection Act 1978, which makes it an offence to harass, disturb, injure, or kill marine mammals. The law applies to all activities that could create disturbing noise All seals, sea lions, dolphins, and whales are protected under this comprehensive framework. The Department of Conservation actively enforces these regulations and takes violations seriously. But noise restrictions are just one part of much broader whale protection laws. Number 4. You cannot swim near whales. In May 2024, when a 50-year-old Auckland man jumped off a boat attempting to body slam an orca, he received a $600 infringement fine for breaching marine mammal protection rules, but serious harassment cases can lead to criminal prosecution with much higher penalties. The Marine Mammals Protection Act 1978 state that swimming within 100 meters of whales is prohibited, and vessels cannot approach within 50 meters unless explicitly authorized by the Director General of Conservation. New Zealand will prosecute you for disturbing a whale, but when it comes to radioactive materials that could harm entire communities, the approach is notably different. Number 3. You must report uranium discoveries to the government. Under the Atomic Energy Act 1945, anyone who discovers uranium, thorium, plutonium, neptunium, or related compounds must report the find in writing within 3 months, detailing the location and date. Still fully enforced in 2025, this law applies to everyone, whether geologists, hobbyists, or construction workers, and places ownership and control of such substances under the Crown. Rooted in Cold War security and resource sovereignty, failure to comply can lead to serious criminal charges. This 80-year-old law treats uranium discovery as a matter of national security, and this comprehensive government control extends even further into the education system. Number 2. Schools cannot have uranium for science classes. New Zealand's Education Act 1989, together with the Nuclear Free Zone Act 1987, bans schools and universities from possessing radioactive materials, even tiny uranium ore samples used elsewhere for teaching physics. Instead, institutions must rely on simulations or non-radioactive alternatives. Universities face strict licensing rules, with only limited use of approved medical isotopes. This reflects New Zealand's nuclear-free stance, born from the anti-nuclear movement of the 1970s to 80s, showing how political values directly shape education and restrict certain areas of scientific learning. So now we've reached the number 1 spot of unusual New Zealand laws, and this recent legislation has generated significant debate. Number 1. Developers can now legally kill kiwi birds. In May 2025, New Zealand passed the Wildlife Authorizations Amendment Act, dubbed the Kiwi Killing Bill by critics. This law was rushed through under urgency and bypassed public consultation and debate. The law was introduced after a High Court ruling had blocked permits that allowed developers to kill protected species, including the kiwi, during projects like the Mount Messenger bypass. Instead of upholding that ruling, the government legalized incidental killing of absolutely protected wildlife such as kiwi, bats, reptiles, and marine species, provided minimal mitigation measures are taken. The Act retroactively validates previously illegal permits, effectively shielding developers and prioritizing corporate projects over biodiversity. Environmental groups and the Green Party condemned it as a dangerous betrayal of public trust and a blow to New Zealand's clean and green reputation. And there you have it, the top 10 unusual laws in New Zealand that you may or may not have known. From uranium reporting requirements to whale protection laws to aviation rules that regulate children's kites. Did you know these laws existed? What do you think about the Wildlife Amendment Act? Should New Zealand be authorizing the incidental killing of its national icon for development projects? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about little-known facts, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.